let's talk about a couple of things that I really kind of been, eh, excited for, but at the same time, I'm very cautious about my expectations, and that has to do with Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. We are so close to the release of this game. Nintendo announced this game last, no, not last Nintendo Direct. It's been a while. I think it's been a couple of months, but I will go ahead and just, I guess, go over the overview trailer. This is a trailer that dropped over the past day or so, and it goes a little bit more into detail of what the abilities, the worlds, the story, a little bit of what you will be able to do with this game. Now, if you didn't know, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom is the first game where you will now be able to play as Zelda, which is amazing. I've been wanting, I've been saying that we need a playable Zelda game for the longest time. She is just as an iconic character as Link ever was. So I'm glad that she's finally getting the love she deserves, and she's getting her flowers. And I feel that, again, I am a huge fan of the chibi kind of toy aesthetic, but I feel like they should have changed it a little bit. Again, I've always said that Nintendo Zelda needs to stop reinventing the wheel with every single game, building a new engine, building a new art style, building all this sort of stuff. But something should have changed just a little bit. Again, still, a lot of the characters here are new. We didn't get to see the Deku Scrubs. We didn't get to see. I mean, we got to see the Zoras, but they were like the old school Zora types. I mean, it was essentially just a remake of the Link's Awakening game. So it's kind of cool to see a lot of the more modern characters in this upcoming game. And I'm just very, very excited. Now, in this game, gameplay is a little bit more different, of course, and you don't just rely on a weapon. You now have essentially the staff, which kind of creates echoes, and you're able to mimic a lot of these objects and create, make a bunch of different stuff like platforms. Use it to distract enemies, use it to clone enemies that'll help you attack, etc., etc., and also helps you move a lot of the elements and assets in the world. So that is very exciting. It's going to be more strategic of a game than let's say like a classic Legend of Zelda game. You're going to have to think a lot more about how you want to proceed at certain levels. Like, again, as you're seeing right now, and if you're watching the video version of the podcast, um, it'll make it a lot easier for you to kind of tackle puzzles and tackle some of these dungeons in a more engaging way, I should say. Breath of the Wild did this pretty well, with an open world as much as you can. Tears of the Kingdom as well, even though I think like Tears of the Kingdom took away that freedom a little bit more and gave you way too many tools, in my opinion. Still love that game, but again, Breath of the Wild is still for me the more enjoyable game in that sense. So I'm really glad that at least this game is trying new things. Now, you also have the sword fighter form, which I'm not a big fan of. Like, I guess it's an added plus, but I feel like a lot of people are gonna just rely on it a lot, and that might skew their, reception of this game a little bit different. But again, these things take time for like to really catch on. It is a mainline Zelda game, so I'm guessing that the producers, the developers, they said like we don't want to, we don't want people to have this negative connotation and just say like, oh, it sucks that I can't use a regular sword and whatnot. But again, as long as they tie it into the story pretty well, I'm not gonna be mad at all. I'm so glad that they finally brought back, the Gorons, the Zoras, the Gerudos. Like, it's just it's so cool to see them in this art style. Which again, I still am a little kind of iffy about the whole art style. I like it; it's really cute, but it kind of, I don't know. After one game, I think I kind of had enough of it. But at least they're including new characters. They're including new creatures. You couldn't ride a horse. You didn't have Deku Scrubs. You didn't have all of that stuff. So it kind of at least is a little bit refreshing in that sense. So I'm very, very excited. And again, very excited that you get to play a Zelda. It's just amazing. It's just beautiful. Still World, we from the trailer, the official trailer, the first one, the released announcement trailer, they're sort of playing into the whole This is very Twilight Princessy. This is very like second world, the Twilight world, where this is kind of like the upside down of the world. The what is it? Link Between Worlds kind of also play with these themes. So I'm really excited to see how they can differentiate that style and that you know narrative, to make it different and make it something new, something exciting. But again, Zelda games, they tend to be a little repetitive with a lot of the narratives. But again, just very excited that this game is a little bit more strategic. It has more ways for you to tackle an enemy, tackle a dungeon, tackle a puzzle, tackle platforming. So it just looks very exciting, man. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this game. I'm really interested to see as well how the story plays out. It this is a momentous time in the Zelda franchise. This is the first time you can play a Zelda. So I hope that they go all out with the story, because this is a historic game. It's going to be a historic game. Like, people are going to look down at this game 10, 15 years from now and be like, "Oh, this is the first game that you can play as Zelda." Like, I bet they put their whole effort into it, and I hope that's true. But again, only time will tell. I'm only um I'm still, like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic about this game. I don't want this to, fall into the same trap, or at least I don't want to fall into the same trap that happened to me when Tears of the Kingdom, with all the anticipation, with all the excitement surrounding it. I kind of felt that I sort of let myself down by expecting way too much, even though I knew that this was a sequel to Breath of the Wild, and it was going to be more of the same, but kind of enhanced a little bit. I hope that this game is different enough from Link's Awakening, which again, the fundamental gameplay is going to be different, but still, I'm really trying to keep my expectations low. Very excited for the story, very excited for the new elements, very excited for the new characters, and I'm just very excited that we're finally getting a Zelda game. That kind of really makes me look forward to the next 3D Zelda, whatever that may be, for the next iteration of the Nintendo console, whatever that may be. I'm glad that Nintendo is trying new things. I'm glad that Nintendo isn't afraid to break conventions, like specifically the Zelda team. Like, they have been inspirational when it comes to breaking down those expectations, and making people not know what to expect. Just very excited. But again, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom comes out September 26th, 2024. That's in 14 days, 2 weeks. Very excited. Cannot wait. No, it's not 2 weeks. What am I talking about? Yeah. 10, 22. Yeah, 14 days. Yeah. 2 weeks. I'm very good at math and calendars. But yeah, not much else I can say. I'm really trying to like not overindulge into like a lot of Echoes of Wisdom content, specifically from a lot of Zelda tubers, because I want to go into this game as blind as possible. I'm still gonna watch the trailers and stuff, but I'm not like, I'm always like half paying attention to them, because I really don't want to know. Like, I kind of wish that they didn't tell us about the sword fighting stuff, or just kind of like teased it, not did a whole overview section on it. But again, it is what it is. I'm a very big Zelda fan, so I'm always gonna buy a Zelda game, So I guess that was more for like the casual fans or the traditional fans. It don't necessarily know that this game was gonna contain sword fighting and whatnot, but it is what it is.